Hello everyone. Today I'll be reviewing the Devolution Terra, a lightweight ergonomic gaming mouse. And before I get into the review, a quick disclaimer. This was not sent out to me. I bought this during the Indiegogo campaign. So everything you're gonna hear is my own thoughts and my own opinions on the product based on my usage from the past 3 months. So starting off with the weight, it's pretty light at 49 grams. That is the advertised weight, and weighing it on my scale, it comes in at the advertised 49 grams. With the aftermarket dots that I have installed. So moving on to the coating is a matte coating which is pretty smooth and grippy. But if you are someone who sweats a lot, it can get a little slippery, so that's something to consider. And moving on to the build quality, it is pretty solid. And if you use the mouse in the way you'd use a mouse, I don't see any issues, no flexing, no creaking, no rattling. So the build quality is pretty solid. But if you do look for any flex, like intentionally press on the mouse, there is some flex over here on the right side, and there is some flex on the bottom as well. But if you are holding it in the bottom, then hey, you're using it wrongly. That's all I'm gonna say. The build quality is pretty solid, and using it within the confines of a gaming mouse, I think you would face no issues. The build quality is pretty solid. So talking about the clicks, these use the FE optical switches for the main buttons, which are light and somewhat tactile. Comparing to the Omron opticals, I would say they are a little heavier than them, but that doesn't mean these switches are heavy at all. They're just slightly heavier than the Omron opticals. So moving on to the side buttons, they're pretty large and spammable. So if you have someone with fat thumb, there is a chance of fat fingering the side buttons. I like the design of the side buttons since it is protruding out of the shell, like it's not recessed within the shell. So it won't be I won't be having a hard time finding the side buttons. There is very minimal pre-travel and post-travel for the main clicks as well as the side clicks. So talking about the scroll wheel, I think this uses an F switch brown encoder, which is pretty light, and that doesn't mean it's very light, but also has well defined tactile steps. I personally am not a big fan of this encoder. I prefer something on the more heavier, more tactile end, something like the TTC Gold or Silver. But this works for the most case. I'm not sure what the middle button uses, what switch is used for the middle button, excuse me, but it is pretty light and spammable. So this is the 8K dongle that you have to purchase to unlock the maximum potential of the mouse. And I have to say it's pretty nicely implemented and comes in very handy. Like I can see the configuration of my mouse without having to like open the software. So talking about the dongle, there's a switch on the side which if you tap once, it cycles through the brightness levels, and if you double tap it, it basically shows the clock, and if you long press the button, it turns off the display. So yeah, there's not much to talk about the dongle. It is pretty nicely implemented, and comparing to other mice through the dongle that come with other mice. This one's a little interesting, like something that catches the eye. Comes with a rubber base which helps it stay in place. So to talk about the performance, this mouse uses the Pixar 3950 sensor and the performance is pretty good. There's no lag, there's no jitters. And the sensor doesn't spin out while using it on different mouse pads. And as someone who plays a lot of TAC FPS like Counter-Strike, I did not face any hiccups when I was using this mouse. So talking about the comfort, this mouse I would say is pretty much a good mouse for palm or like a relaxed claw grip if you are someone with medium to large size hands. So for reference, you can see holding it in the palm grip, you can see this is the relaxed claw. I would not suggest this for fingertip grip as there are other mice that would work well for a fingertip grip. So moving to the final section of this review, the pros and cons. The pros, it's a very comfortable shape with a great sensor implementation. The clicks are great. The battery life is also good and it also charges pretty fast if you are someone who's always on the move and play at higher polling rates. You also get a lot of goodies along with this mouse. I don't have the honeycomb skates on me anymore. And you also get a regular set of PTFE skates and also some PTFE dots. So those are the pros from my own experience from using the mouse. So moving on to the cons, this mouse pairs to only one dongle at a time, which it's a minor inconvenience. So I mean the pairing is not a difficult process, but still I would like to have something that just picks up the signal and uses it. Like comparing to the previous mice I've owned, like the Razer Death Adder V3 Hyperspeed, or the Viper V2 Pro, or the Death Adder V3 Pro, and so on. They all have a precedence to using different receivers. So if you have the 1K dongle plugged in, it automatically detects the 1K dongle and connects to the 1K dongle. Or if you have the 8K dongle plugged in, it connects to the 8K dongle. If you have both of them plugged in, it just takes automatically, the 8K dongle takes the precedence. So that is one minor inconvenience that I see with this mouse. And the next thing is for the dongle to display the time all the time, you need to turn on the software. This could be a deal breaker to some people, as we see more and more web softwares coming along the way. Is another small inconvenience. Yes, the downloadable software is very minimal and lightweight, but you need to have it running at all times so it shows the time. And yeah, if you are someone who uses donut skates, these do not fit in them. You might have to sand the base down to fit your donut skates. So that is something to look out for. So that's it. That's my thoughts and opinions on the Devolution Terra. If you have any questions or if you think I missed something, do let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.